Have you heard of WTJW? Well, we're going to find out about that in this edition of 18WJTS Inform. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Joining me in the studio is Steve Luegers. Now, Steve is the president of the, and better get me correct on this, the Tri-State Catholic Radio, which owns and operates TJW.
93.1 FM.
Which is a Catholic radio station here in Jasper.
Right here in Du Bois County, Indiana, greater area.
Okay, now many of you know that I'm associated with WBDC, WAXL, WRZR, WJTS, and maybe thinking, well, that's kind of competition. Yes, in a way it is, but we know that people listen to a variety of different things. And Catholic radio offers an interesting alternative.
Well, it does. And we don't look at it that way. I mean, I guess a person could perceive it that way, but it's like, in some ways, a good restaurant. More often than not, we have a couple restaurants we go to, and our programming is all Catholic, and we certainly understand, while we'd love to have people listen to us all day, we certainly understand that they find their programs that they like. We came on air because of, in many cases, people needed a better understanding of our Catholic faith. We also wanted to broadcast the Mass, which is unique to our Catholic radio station, and that's broadcast 8 o'clock weekdays. And we also wanted to offer Rosary, which is 5:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. We also understand with our digital radios, people will sometimes toggle back and forth as they find their particular favorite programs or the news that they want to get or whatever. While we have a little bit of national news, if you want more local news, WBDC and WJTS do an excellent, fine job. And here's one I'm done.
Yeah. Well, now, Steve, what's the point? Really, what is the purpose, I guess, or mission, maybe I should say, of Catholic radio in Jasper? Or, well, before we get started with that,
that's a good slow one down the middle. Yeah. I want to come back to that one.
What do you cover so people know? What is your coverage area?
Okay. We are low power FM, which means we have 100 watts. It's a very low power FM, hence LPFM. In our broadcast area, as I've checked out by myself, we added and went from a single bay to a 2-bay vertical antenna. Technical terms, we basically cover Du Bois County, and Lagodi is fair, depending on where you're at. This is with a car radio, and as a rule of thumb, a car radio is about 2 to 3 times more sensitive than most home radios. But our signal, when we went to that 2-bay vertical antenna, improved greatly to Spencer County, just south of us, which is Dale, Santa Claus, Mariah Hill. Those now have excellent signals, and all, of course, the people live in Du Bois County area. Not really a larger town to the west of us in Pike County, and because of the tremendous drop in topography, French Lick doesn't do as well. Otherwise, we'd get that. So that's greater Du Bois County, for lack of a better explanation.
So that way now people know kind of, yeah, okay, I can get that.
And of course, you're coming into town to Jasper with your car radio, you should be able to pick it up. Real easy, the closer and closer you come to Jasper. Find a program that you like, give us a listen to, and I think you might find something you like.
Okay, now let's go back then to the mission. What is the mission?
This is not something I thought about when you phrased the question. It goes back to, what did John Baptist do for Jesus Christ? John the Baptist, in 2020 language, was a front person. He was the advanced person. He was the person who heralded the coming of the Savior to save sinners like me. So what does that mean? That means that we at Catholic Radio are a herald, if you will. We are a vehicle to help people better understand our Catholic faith. And sad to say, we have not done our catechesis perfectly. This is not my words. When Sister Jean Hedinger, was in charge of religious education, she had many times said, we have a whole generation or two that's been poorly catechized. A big word that means instructed. So we have a need in our own Catholic faith to better understand what I call the ABCs, or Catholicism 101, the fundamentals of our faith. And just like when we receive training in our job, these things need to be repeated and refreshed, because we don't hear them just one time and they become entrenched in our long-term memory. So we're an education arm of the Catholic Church, using EWTN programming to better understand our Catholic faith. And one of the things that makes it so interesting, and the reason I got involved in this project, is because of one program called Catholic Answers Live. It's the #1 program in the United States. It airs on WTJW weeknights from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And all they do is answer questions about the Catholic faith. And I happened to tune in one night and listen to the answer to the question. And then, of course, we're all usually somebody who is a little bit more careful about who they pick and choose to listen to. And then I listened to it again, and the quality of their responses and the clarity of their responses was just amazing. And they continue to be the #1 Catholic call-in live show to this day.
And one thing we want to point out, it's not just for Catholics.
Absolutely. In fact, it's a wonderful thing. I've been to Catholic Radio Association conferences and seminars, and they track that sort of thing. And in some markets, it might be as much as 20 or 30% of people are non-Catholic. So we'd love to have people, if you're interested, would like to know a little bit more about it, or just want to understand a little bit better comparison of what the Catholic Church teaches and believes, and maybe what another denomination believes, that's entirely up to you. And God bless you for at least trying to better understand where the truth lies and what the different denominations teach and believe.
And October 4th, 2015, you went on the air.
Actually called it flipping the switch.
Flipping the switch.
That's right. Which we really did. We had one of those old power switches, and Father Ray Brenner flipped the switch. And it wasn't hooked up or anything, but we thought it was kind of a cool little marketing gimmick.
Sure, that looks good. So now you're celebrating your 5th anniversary.
Right.
What does that mean for people in this area?
Well, we sent out letters announcing what the upgrades to the stations have been, and we asked them a simple question, a survey. Because we know surveys are not the favorite thing people like to do. People don't look forward in their mail and say, oh my gosh, I got another survey to fill out. And that's true both electronically as well as in the mail, the older traditional style. The question is, what does Catholic radio mean to me? And the response, we had so many of them that we thought were just really, really encouraging. But one of our favorites was, Catholic radio has given me hope and encouragement in some difficult times our country's going through. It has helped me better understand my Catholic faith, and I'm grateful for WTJW. Well, as a broadcaster, you know that, I know that, it just from a Catholic Christian perspective, it just doesn't get much better than that. So it tells us we're hitting the target for our listening audience, what we want to do with the station.
Is it associated with one church, or is it basically the Diocese of Evansville? How is that working? Is it the Vatican? What's...
Right. We have, as an accountability, anything that we want to do to change our broadcast needs to be approved by our Director of Communication, Tim Lilly, who's the Director of Communication for the Evansville Diocese. Our boss, for lack of a better term, is Bishop Siegel, and we have his blessing, and every 5 years we're up for renewal for that permission to broadcast and operate a Catholic radio station, and that was just renewed again for 5 years just here not too long ago.
Okay, so it's really...
and then we, of course, have a board, too, like anything else, and an organization. We're a 501c3, and that's the way it was set up. But we think it's very important that we have some accountability. I know in our culture and our business world today, and even in our government, sometimes the lack of accountability can cause some real serious problems and challenges, and it seriously undermines people's trust. Well, as a Christian radio station and ultimately working for Jesus Christ, we need to make sure we're doing things correctly, and all our hands are on top of the table, and everybody understands what that means.
And you are an EWTN affiliate. Now,
That's
some
correct.
people may go, I think I know that as a cable network, video, TV.
Well, it's all the above. It's radio, it's shortwave. Started, of course, by Mother Angelica. Most people are familiar with, an Italian lady from Canton, Ohio. Very fiery, very passionate, not your typical nun. And apparently, as the story goes, she was up in Chicago, I believe, and was either at a TV station or had something to do with a TV program, and on the drive home, they struck up a conversation and said, I'd love to have one of these. And basically asked God, I'd like to have one of these. And lo and behold, they went on the air August the 15th, 1981. They had $200 in a garage. And today it's a international broadcast media organization literally reaching around the world with television, radio, shortwave, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And she would be one of the first ones to say, I didn't have the ability, I didn't have the skills, but somehow I found the courage to at least start. And as the old proverb says, we climb the highest mountain by taking the first step.
Now, you want people to find you on the dial.
93.1 FM.
That's where you hope they find you more than anything else. But
Absolutely.
You do have a physical location.
Yep, we were fortunate. St. Joe's Church offered us a couple rooms at what they call Ministry House, which is across from the north parking lot. And in there we have a studio as well as a small office. And we have access to the conference room that they have for any meetings we have, and we share that with some other ministries in there. So we're very grateful for Father Ray Brenner, who gave us the permission to use that facility to this day, and it works out really great, good for our purposes.
Can people contribute, help? Because you're non-commercial, so
Right.
basically you operate on donations,
Right.
in a way, because you don't do commercials.
Right.
how can somebody help?
Well, if you want to make a donation, and Mother Angelica says keep us between the electric and the gas bill. She was referring to donations, of course, to EWTN. But if your funds allowed and you'd like to make a donation, the address is 218 West 13th Street, Jasper, Indiana, and just put it out to WTJW, and we'll get it. We'd sure appreciate it.
Well, congratulations on 5 years.
Thank you so much,
We're
Bill.
going on right now.
Yep.
And hope it continues for you for a long time. A great message going out.
Well, thank you so much for hospitality and generosity today.
Is there anything else you'd like people to know?
You know, during these times, folks, I can't help but make a little bit of a commercial. It was told me many years ago during these difficult times that we're in, the message is still the same as when Jesus walked this earth 2,000 years ago. Our only hope, our true hope today, tomorrow, is in Jesus Christ. So during these times, spend a little bit of time growing closer to Jesus Christ, and I think you'll be encouraged and blessed by it.
Steve, thank you very much for being our guest.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Our guest has been Steve Luegers. He's the president of the
Tri-State Catholic Radio.
Yeah, thank you very much. Tri-State Catholic Radio, which is basically WTJW,
Right.
which, by the way, stands for what?
We trust Jesus' word.
Okay, and it's at 93.1 FM on your radio dial if you'd like to check them out. Thank you for being our guest.
Thanks again, Bill.
Thank you for watching 18 WJTS. We are local people watching local people.